Hey everyone, welcome to a series of videos where I'm just going to talk about my thoughts on a certain topic. I decided to start talking, I really want to create a discussion, essentially, on certain topics within the hobby. And this week's one, I figured no better way to start the video series than colored GW plastic. I get that question a lot, or what are my thoughts on colored GW plastic? Why do you think they do it? Why? What do you think about it? Do you like it? Pros and cons? Yes. So, obviously, why GW does it, it's because I'm assuming the answer is differentiation, right? These games are, the colored plastics typically come in box sets that are associated, that they can be standalone games. For example, Speed Freaks, Blackstone Fortress. All these games have colored plastics. The Kill Team starter set had colored plastics. And typically it's red and yellow. I do find that they're either red, yellow, and the train's usually black. And it's colored. And obviously the reason is for the coloration is that it could be its own standalone game. So you can play the game without necessarily having to paint the models, and you can clearly look at the color of the plastic and differentiate, who's on what team. For example, the Speed Freaks box set, half of the models are red, half the models are yellow. And different games, each color corresponds to an army or a faction, For example, I believe Genestealer Cults for the starter set for Kill Team is also red, And it's interesting, like obviously in some of the models for, the other Kill Team starter set are red and yellow in different colors, and it's interesting. As I said, the coloration is it's interesting that they went with colored plastic. Now, what are my thoughts on the colored plastic? A lot of people have been complaining that they think it's more brittle, which could be the case. I do find it bends a little bit more than the rigid gray plastic I find. It could be. Maybe it's just in my head, but I do feel it's a little more bendable. And could be a little, a little softer, maybe, than the gray. Maybe it's just me. Maybe they're identical in just different colors. As I said, could be just in my head. Now, another hypothesis is that, a lot of these models are really well detailed. Like, this is the Blackstone Fortress sprue, and they're very well detailed, tiny, tiny models. Like, if you see here, like, this is incredibly thin. And maybe that's, another reason, a confounding variable in this is that they're very, very finely detailed plastic miniatures that have been coming in these games, and that's why people have been breaking them. But there seems to be a lot of complaints about the red and yellow plastic being fragile, more fragile than the gray standard plastic in the Games Workshop sprues. And I do this, and maybe they're right. Maybe there's something to it. I can kind of see that myself. What do I think about assembling it? Sure, no problem at all. Again, these models really do fit well together. I do have to be very careful when separating it from the sprue and cleaning it. That's what I'm saying. I do kind of see the fragility in this plastic, but as I said, maybe it's just in my head. I am pretty careful when it comes to assembling models, and as I said, they assemble okay. The big thing about when painting these things, and that's where my thoughts go, is that it's kind of annoying to prime and paint over the red and yellow plastic. I find myself really aggressively pre-shading the models, especially the bigger models like the vehicles from Speed Freaks. You really have to make sure you cover all areas of the model. So, and of course I use a gray primer typically over my miniatures, and I make sure to really aggressively shade the models. The reason being is if you miss an area, it looks really unnatural when you have a red or yellow, especially yellow. Yellow is the weirder case, but when you have a red or yellow shadow, or a deep area of the model that you haven't primed, usually you can kind of hide it due to shading, or darkness. It kind of blends in and becomes a natural shadowing of the model. But when it's red or yellow, it looks really, really bad, right? And so for the larger models especially, I find myself over priming intentionally to make sure that I cover up the red or the yellow, because I don't want any of that to show over the painted miniatures. And as I said, they do cover up pretty well. I don't find it harder to paint over. I just find myself extremely make sure to cover every part of this model, because if I don't, they're going to have a red, armpit or a yellow, deep area that I can't usually hit with an airbrush. And so yeah, I do find myself really aggressively priming these miniatures, and after that I can't tell at all. Like here is a model that I've been working on lately. It's one of the vehicles from Speed Freaks, and as you can see, it's blue, and I painted it blue and metallic. I'm still working on it at the moment. It's going to be this week's painting with Jay. But it's blue. It's not red or yellow. This one, I believe, was red originally. Could have been yellow. Don't even remember. And that's it. I forgot, and I'm trying to look and see. I can't see any of the original color because I made sure to really aggressively prime this, this model. So as I said, I really don't have any qualms with it. I'm not. I do understand why GW does it. It makes sense that in standalone games, some people won't be painting them for a while, and so at least while you can still enjoy the game based on the coloration of the model. You can tell from a distance what the what faction it is in the game, and you can play it. I do find, maybe it's just me. What do you guys think? Is it more fragile, more brittle than the other ones, or is it just the models? As you can see, these are fantastic models with amazing detail, and maybe it's the thinness of the models that's causing the breaking, not the colored plastic. Maybe it's in our head. It's just color. Maybe it's just color, right? It is annoying. It's not annoying to put together. I don't find it any harder to put together other than, as I said, I'm being careful when I take it off the sprue and when I'm putting it together. But I don't, the main thing with me is the priming. You really got to make sure it's primed well, and I make sure to prime my models pretty aggressively. Of course, I do use Stynylrez primer, and it does, really keep the detailing, but I make sure to really aggressively prime these things, because I got to make sure that I can't be lazy. I have to hit every angle, because otherwise, if you don't, you're going to have a yellow recess or a red recess, and unless it's a red or yellow model, it really doesn't make any sense for that coloration, and it really sticks out like a sore thumb. I do find that. And I'm guessing you people have probably found the same thing, is that if you've missed a spot, it really sticks out like a sore thumb. And that's basically my thoughts on the colored plastic. As I said, I do find it okay to work with. Painting, it is a little bit annoying, but it's easy to deal with. Just make sure to prime it aggressively. And as you can see by my models, like, you can't tell if this one was red or yellow. My other models, you really can't tell either. I'd have to strip it off to see what color it was originally, but I make sure to paint quasi-aggressively. As I said, just make sure that it is thoroughly covered, and then you're in good shape, right? And obviously I've seen a lot of really, really nice painted models from Blackstone Fortress, and you can easily paint over it. It's just make sure that the priming is done effectively, and then you're in good shape, And that's it. As I said, these videos are going to be pretty brief, but my goal for these videos is to give you my thoughts on a specific subject, and for you, the viewers, to talk about this subject in the comment section down below. Let's create a discussion. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the colored plastics from Games Workshop? Do you like them? Are they okay? Do you hate them? That's the point, and why. Let's create a discussion in the comment section down below. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and definitely leave comments in the comment section down below what you think, and also future topics that you'd like me to cover. And I'm going to cover them over the next little while. So stay tuned for more videos. Thank you as always for watching, and as always, this video is brought to you by my Patreon subscribers. If you want to help support my content, please check out the link in the description below to help support my campaign for Patreon. As you can see, their names go by my heads. So huge thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. Huge thank you to you. Please like this video, comment in the comment section down below, and subscribe to my channel if you already haven't done so. Really does help a lot. Stay tuned for more videos. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting. Maybe with colored plastic.